How much would you give up just to be the second to last sacrifice? Well, Pamela Purse yelled ladies first, so welcome to Tome of Legends, where we, rude Kaiser, enthrall our royal court with our extensive wisdom on a legendary topic. Today's tale is like the reoccurring nightmare of an endless cockroach. Remember your conditioning, trainee, because today's topic is a rotten old man in the pocket of a demon. That's right, the Cabal Patriarch. Were you expecting somebody else? And while we're here, don't forget to lolly-lule-lo, lolly-lule-lo, lolly-lule. As if we could be bothered, peasant. We'll do it live. So, what is it about this gross old creep whose cabal of sycophants, cultists, and brutes are dedicated to enacting the will of a primordial evil that demands millions of lives to be taken in their honor that made us want to talk about this card? Glad you asked. We recently learned that Cabal Coffers was not a Phyrexian card, and it existed on Dominaria before their invasion. The Cabal simply existing is common knowledge among Magic players, given the wide array of cards they appear on, but their beliefs and intentions are less clear. They are the classic neutral evil death cult, but what they lack in depth, they make up for with flair and, most importantly, money. Their very belief system is built upon acquiring riches, and as such, they are driven by money first and foremost. The thing that they worship is actually linked to gold specifically, and Cabal Coffers' art beautifully depicts the scale of their massive stash of hoarded wealth. As far as flair goes, they are always depicted in black robes with red trim, while the higher-ups are depicted in the same with jewels and golden adornments. And the highest up, well, that brings us to the Cabal Patriarch, as depicted by Mark Zug, features a wretched and ghastly pale old man, propping himself up onto a marble throne. Behind him is a gaping maw of a door, teeth and all, that a writhing and unknowable mass seems to be flowing out of. The Patriarch is dressed as most Cabal higher-ups, but with far more gold and gems than any other Cabal wizard. Centered in the opulence rests his uninterested gaze, fixed between disdain and disgust, as if he is in the middle of positioning himself to rid his throne room of an unwanted visitor. Born within Otaria, on the plain of Dominaria, Viro Milan lived a life of wealth and access, along with his mother, Lady Milan, in a port city named Docktown. Most his life was spent in a familial feud between his own and the Elissa family. During his life of affluence and nepotism, he was contacted by an ancient evil that sensed Viro's unfettered ambition and avarice would make him the perfect pawn. In a dream, he was visited by Kuber, a primordial black monosaurus of Dominaria, who was originally killed by the very first Corona. Go ahead and put some quotations over that killed. Viro agreed to do the bidding of Kuber, and in exchange, he was given near immortality and the power to kill with just a touch. He immediately used his newfound power to remove any and all that would oppose him, starting with the Elissa family. The Milan family soon subjugated the Elissa family, Viro even turning their eldest daughter to his cause. But Kuber was not finished. Viro was visited in another dream, where his primordial benefactor demanded the severing of all family names, starting with his own Milan family. Taking the dream to heart, his name was abandoned for the title of First of the Cabal. Then he slaughtered every one of his family members, including his own mother, then turned to the Elissa family, killing their patriarch and converting his only son to the Cabal. With time, every person in the area was a member of the Cabal, and Docktown became known as Cabal City. The Cabal began as financiers, preying upon the fear and greed of their customers to accrue money, power, and influence. One of their more popular endeavors were the pit fights they hosted in their own arenas. This served as entertainment, letting participants from all over Otaria gamble on or participate in fights, but also as a means to keep their followers complicit with cruelty. This murderous cult accumulated many enemies from both outside and inside their own ranks. Two such enemies were Ambassador Liquatus and Chainer, Dementia Master. Using the Patriarch's secret name and a powerful magical artifact known as the Mirari, the pair led an assault on Cabal City. The powerful Mirari eradicated each of the First's bodyguards, but he himself was unaffected by the spell. Still, outgunned and unable to overcome Chainer's Mirari, the First of the Cabal was exiled to the southern region of Afeto, and Chainer took over Cabal City. He was no Patriarch, however, and when angels attacked the arena, he overly relied on the Mirari's power, and a backfiring spell resulted in his demise. The First of the Cabal returned to power while remaining in Afeto, making it the new capital for the Cabal cult. From this seat, the Patriarch sent his second-in-command, Braids, to steal the Mirari from Kamal, the barbarian that took it from Chainer, so that it could never be used against him again. Braids led an army of nightmares, but was intercepted by an army of angels. During their conflict, Kamal fled to Crosa, where Liquatus had prepared an ambush. Unwilling to walk into a trap, Braids pulled the Cabal forces back, and in doing so, discovered the injured sister of Kamal being tended to by Seton, Crosan protector. Braids killed the centaur and kidnapped the sister, bringing her to the Patriarch, who, in an attempt to destroy her, inadvertently transformed her into an avatar of death. This was the birth of Phage the Untouchable, a cursed being that would rot anything it touched. The First of the Cabal saw a lot of himself in Phage, and quickly promoted her up the ranks of the Cabal, even allowing her to oversee the creation of the new Grand Colosseum. He, however, began to see too much of himself in Phage, and that admiration quickly warped into distrust and failed assassination attempts. Despite the unease he felt, the Patriarch and Phage had a child together, whose birth was punctuated with another assassination attempt on Phage. Braids intervened and, with a nightmare beast, snapped the Patriarch in half. The newborn was revealed to be the incarnation of Kuber, who had stolen the Patriarch's immortality upon being born, and was now aging 1 day for every murder committed by a Cabal member. This gave the Cabal pit fights a whole new purpose. The Cabal would go on to continue their depraved practices more or less unimpeded, from this point to the latest time we've seen Dominaria as of this recording. This video is not about the Cabal itself though, but the fate of the first Patriarch Vero Malon and what awaits all that deal with demons. The Cabal Patriarch is a 6-mana 5/5, demanding a minimum of 3 black to even be cast. For 3 more mana and sacrificing a creature, it can give any target creature -2/-2 until the end of turn. Or for 3 mana and exiling a creature card from your graveyard, it can give any target creature -2/-2 until the end of turn. It is a rather small debuff for the cost. Bro literally gets mauled by Dismember. But being able to use it multiple times a turn can be quite effective in theory. You'll need a lot of mana and a lot of creatures to sacrifice if you want to kill anything bigger than a 4/4. That itself would cost 2 creatures and 6 mana. That is the same mana value as Grave Titan, except you lose 2 other creatures. And that's just to kill a 4/4, mind you, at instant speed. It is certainly more of a win more card, no matter how you look at it. But in a format as battle cruiser heavy as Commander, a card like this can probably function as a mono black deck's very expensive top-end aristocrat. Because this deck is so mana hungry, mana doublers are key. Crypt Gas is a great one, as is Caged Sun, but we took an additional step by using extra planar lens to double our swamps, and as we're running snow-covered swamps, no one else should be benefiting from the lens's global effect. The deck needs low cost and easy to dispose of bodies, and rats are amazing at filling that role. Some force discard on entry, while others are just good to be sacrificed. But they all form the backbone of this very mana-hungry deck. We also use a little tribal synergy to ensure that the rats make rats when rats die, which will be happening. To win outside of rat damage, we intend to use Plague of Vermin, which combos with Ayara, First of Lochthwain. No matter the amount of life we pay into the sorcery, so long as it's more than our opponent's life total, Ayara will gain us 1 for each rat and then drain the table for each rat, resulting in our victory. Reanimating Ayara is a simple task, but getting the Plague back, if it is milled, discarded, or countered, is tough, which is why we employ Ill-Gotten Gains and Bosium Strip. 2 very wacky but amazing spells to cast or fish the sorcery out of the graveyard. So don't actually build this deck, and if you do, make it just an Ayara deck, which, by the way, it's so lame that a card like Plague of Vermin is a $20 card. I didn't even know that till I started building this. Yeah, it's insane that Commander makes cards cost more. Like, that's the antithetical to the entire format. It's nuts. I don't know if you're a spiritual individual, but you better get real versed in mysticism, because I assure you, magic is not only real, it is being used against you. How you think creates how you feel. How you feel becomes emotions. Emotions become vibrations. Vibrations become magnetic, attracting and repelling as charged. Only think about what you want, forget about what you don't want, never speak of what you don't have. If there's no enemy on the inside of your mind, no enemy on the outside can do your body any harm. Don't look out the window, look in the mirror. Fuck what they say, fuck how they feel. Do what you want to do and be good at it. Just make sure what you do is good for you and to you. As Stevie Wonder said, turn your words into truth and then turn that truth into love. Also, big shout outs to Cooper and their many descendants and reincarnations. We know y'all doing it big out here, making your names known, but you have always had and will always have enemies. And that was the Cabal Patriarch. Thanks for watching, and we hope you learned something. We love you and we're proud of you. And don't forget to lolly-loo-lay-lo, 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 lolly-loo-lay-lo.